Things started. What's up, girl?
Hey,
Hey, Molly. What's going
how's it
on?
going?
Good. You got the outfit on. Atta girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I normally start this off with a couple announcements, and I really don't have any off the top of my head. Maybe just kind of a general one to my one-on-ones that we've got friends coming in town, and then I'm actually going out of town on vacation, but I'm still doing your check-ins. But if my times are a little off, just know that I'm half kicking it and half, staying business, staying on your stuff. But yeah, I wanted to get Molly on here and push her out of her comfort zone, like she said to me earlier, and just get you guys familiar with Coach Molly and kind of doing some of these and answering your questions. So, uh, Melissa had a great one. Molly, we'll kick it off with her question. And what what was her question? I just had it and I lost it.
I
Oh,
got you. I
okay,
got you.
go
I
for
got
it.
it.
Get it.
Don't you? So Melissa's question was, what is something you wish you would have figured out sooner in your journey, your biggest mental aha? Well, first I must say that my mom always told me, don't wish your life away, and everything happens for a reason. So while it would have been awesome to have learned this earlier in my journey, I don't know that I would have had the same impact. Successes are so much sweeter when you have failed. So here's the key to nutritional freedom, in my opinion. It's shutting down that critic in your head. All she wants to do is argue with you. Once you stop and focus on what you can control, your attitude and your effort, things just seem to fall into place. It's learning how to respond and not react.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys aren't going to know as much as I know about Molly, but she has hit those pieces along her way. So, shutting down the critic, which is the negative self talk loop that only you are telling yourself that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. And maybe you need to look at that in a different way. Um, and, looking at the process. What were the other that you had three? Sorry, I tried my best to hold on to them. What were the other two that you mentioned right there at
Control
the
your
end?
attitude and your effort, and
Attitude and effort.
you learn how to respond and not react.
Yes, which has
Because
been, oh, yeah, go, you go. This is your thing.
I guess, I mean, that's just thing with anything in life. I mean, if you have kids or if you have a spouse or if you're at work, it's taking that second to just breathe, respond, and not react. And I'm more a medical side, so I think I need to get my parasympathetic nervous system in and not my sympathetic. And so, I mean, that's just how I think about it, but it's responding versus reacting. And I'm not good at it. I can fly off the handle real quick, but um, being aware of it, I think that's half the battle there. So you just learn.
Yeah, it's actually been really cool. And I think this is going to be a cool part of the different perspective that you're going to bring to coaching from myself. I came from a corporate background that was honestly pretty loose, let me have a lot of flexibility. I traveled and did things like that too. You're in a completely different environment, not only from
Mm-hmm.
what you find interesting with the medical field, but the how strenuous and regimented your schedule is, and just all of that and your perspective on it. So not only going back to Melissa's question about responding, not reacting, and all of that, but also just a different take on where you come from and how you process things versus how I
Mm-hmm.
process things, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. So
Yeah.
okay, we'll jump into the next question. So I asked you, from being on this side of your check-ins, what are some things that myself, or even when you were with WAG before, told you to do, and you were like, I'm going to write that off, and then eventually got around to, and you're like, that made a really big difference. Did any of those kind of pop into your head?
Yeah, the first one I had with WAG was I remember sitting downstairs in our movie room and I was like, all this candy and popcorn. I'm like, I'm just gonna eat this and I just won't tell my coach. It'll be fine. And then I sat down and I was like, who am I hurting? She doesn't care if I ate it or if I didn't. I'm only hurting myself. So I think with WAG, I just learned the importance of just having honesty and integrity with my fitness pal. That's where I learned the most, because then I could go back and look and be like, well, what went on here? Why did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
And learning to take that moment to pause. But going back before I even started nutrition, just when I was in CrossFit, I kept hearing everybody say, you can't out train a bad diet. And I was like, I bet you can. So I was like, just work harder, just work harder. And, you know, I got results, but that's because I had a lot of weight to lose at first. So, of course, it was going to fly off quicker. But once it started to plateau, then that's when I was like, okay, then I need to dial in on nutrition.
Yeah, which even some
But
of the oh go you go.
now I still got the why did I ignore your advice? Now, come on.
Yes.
I was just thinking about it before I decided that maybe I shouldn't drink all my protein.
Hmm.
In the beginning it worked because it just worked. I had to get a lot of protein in and I didn't know what to do, and that was quick and it was easy. But I knew in the back of my head long term that wasn't going to be sustainable. Who wants to drink shakes other than my husband because he thinks it's great? I don't. I want to eat my food. So I just kept making little changes here and there. And then I asked for a cardio challenge like I usually do. And what did you give me? Let's just have one protein shake a day challenge for a month. Game on. So that really forced me to think about how I could get my protein through food sources. And now I fast forward today, and I'm just eating what I want. And at no point am I like, I cannot wait until this diet is over. It's just how I eat now.
Hmm.
Um, and the best advice that I was ever given, and it can apply to almost anything that you want to learn or get better at. And I'm sure anybody at 70 or anybody who knows Chelsea will know exactly what I'm going to say. Trust the process because it works.
That's right. And and give a little bit of credit to you sticking with the process because you didn't you still do, honestly. We'll just be honest. You still do take in quite a bit of protein powder. But the difference is we let that go on for a long time. And then it was just kind of the point where I was like, I think she can do a little bit more. And then you were like, wow, I wasn't as hungry during the day. But you
Mm-hmm.
still had a good habit that you can rely on. So in a pinch, you can use a shake or if you want to fill yourself. So some of the process was not only getting into the habit, looking for an opportunity on where to do better, but then putting those all together and being like, oh, okay, I have more than one option to hit my protein. I don't have to just
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit
Yeah.
of credit to sticking with it over the time there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so those were the two big ones, and then I kind of threw out, I think yesterday, maybe just to Molly privately, I don't remember if it was public or not, that talking about why she wanted to take the jump and become a nutrition coach. So, and interestingly, I'm going to throw this little caveat in there. You guys might not know, but Molly is still in the alumni program as a coach also. So I'd like you to at some point throw that in there on even though you have a coaching cert because you got it in January and you're still a nudist, so
Mm-hmm.
what made you want to and why do you still feel like being coached is important?
Oh, this is awesome because I listened to the WAG podcast yesterday. And you know why I'm still with the alum program? And you know why most WAG coaches still have a coach? Because coaches need coaches.
That's right.
That's why.
That's right.
Um, so, why did I become a nutrition coach? Well, in the beginning, I just wanted a fallback career. I thought, well, what if this pharmacy doesn't last forever? Then I was like, well, if anything, I'll just learn this for myself. It'll be worth the money. I was just so done with yo-yo dieting. Then it became about wanting to help people and teach them it's not rocket science. You can do this without starving yourself, and you can still eat the things you like, everything in moderation. Eventually, I peeled back those 7 layers that Dr. Lindsay talks about. And I'll be really, really honest and frank. I stopped loving myself. And when that happens, life just sucks. You just go through the motions of life and you're just not really living. As I look back, that's why I am so passionate about nutrition now. For me, it was never really about the food. It was about learning to pause, reflect, and say to myself, okay, what's really going on here? I think the 3 most important lessons I learned on my journey with New Nation Nutrition were until you face your own issues, you will never really change your lifestyle. The day you realizing that comparing is the thief of all joy, listen to that again. Comparing is the thief of all joy. You are free and happy. And once you love yourself, you're just a better person all around. You're a better spouse, you're a better parent, you're a better sister, you're a better friend, you're a better coworker. So now it's my turn to give back. I want to help others succeed like I did and continue to do with N3. So who's ready to be their best self?
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And it's cool because you've had this full transformation. And I love what you're saying there, that it wasn't about food. So although, you know, you had gotten overweight obviously by lack of activity and food choices, but what you were looking for when you were making those food choices, when you peeled back those 7 layers that Dr. Lindsay talks about, was not the fact that you just wanted Doritos, or I shouldn't label Doritos as something you didn't want to be in a high caloric setting. Yeah,
Whatever.
those
I
type
wanted
people.
that. You
Go.
know what I ate? I ate all the crap.
Yeah, yeah, but you weren't doing it for the sake of.
I wasn't doing it because I was hungry. I was
There
doing
you
it to
go.
fill another void.
Exactly. Yep. And that's
Mhm.
what, when people say it's not about food, or, I know that you're bigger on fueling yourself because you like how you feel in the gym, but you like how you feel in the gym because it does something for you emotionally to show you progress, that there's a lot more layers to it than just, I want to be able to lift that bar. So
Mhm.
um, it's it's pretty cool when and I think you and I are going to constantly have to tell people, just wait to see where you end up. But you didn't know you were going to understand that about yourself through all this. You just thought you wanted
No.
to get fit and look good naked. But there's,
Mhm.
it's almost like, this is such a bad reference. We'll make it a Halloween reference. It's like the dash mark on a headstone. It's so bad, but there's so much more in between those pieces of making the decision and ending up,
Mhm.
you didn't even see it's coming. And same for me. I didn't know I was going to be doing this 3 years ago. I was
Mhm.
setting a career of sports marketing and doing a thing, and now I'm kicking it with my pup
No.
talking to you on a
If
Wednesday,
you would have if you would have told me that day I walked in that Sunday with you, right? It was the day after I had a burn class and I couldn't even sit on the toilet. I couldn't walk, and Alicia's like, "Just go." And I was like, "Okay." So I go, and you're like, "How you feel?" And I'm like, "I can't move." And she's like, "Just trust the process." I would have
yeah,
never known I was gonna be where I'm at today. Never.
you're not here to look pretty, right? That's what we
No.
said.
Yeah.
This isn't going to
Yeah.
be pretty. We're not here to be pretty.
No.
We're here to do
Yeah.
burpees.
Yep.
Yep. So pretty cool to watch along the way, and I'm excited to see again what different perspective you can bring to coaching, because it's just like with CrossFit. Any of you guys that I've coached in CrossFit, or any of my teammates that are in here with softball, or whatever, you might hear it differently from someone else. Your perspective is not maybe where I'm saying it, and where Molly's coming from might resonate more with you than someone else. So it's pretty cool to have somebody else here, and I'm excited to see what your clients do. You got a couple in there, and if
Yeah.
anyone's
Yeah.
interested, let us know. I think you've got, how many more spots you got?
One.
I'm gonna let you say it, not me. So one golden ticket out there, guys, if you guys want to fill that, and let's give Coach Molly her first roster fill. But cool. I think that's it
All
for
right.
me today. If anyone else, as usual, has questions, drop them below. I guess I should say that next week is going to be the end of the first form orders. And remember, each month I'll give away a $20 gift card. So get that in there. I'm telling y'all, that cinnamon cookie batter is blowing my mind in sludges. I know I posted about it this morning, but it's like really hard not to have them often. And I know, Molly, you've tried the bars and you're loving them. Quit
Oh,
hitting these stupid
yeah.
things. Um, but cool. And I think I have a package delivering of something neat today. So something kind of small. Don't get too excited, but should be kind of fun. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Tell Molly
Okay.
she did great on her what the what, and talk to you guys later.